What's up, friends? It's Alt Joe here, Alt Joe TV. I want to make a quick, informative video about what happened in Tipsoutbaby, his stream in Molten Core last night when he was doing the speedrun. And so I just want to show why he actually pulled aggro when he did. And, you know, let's just get into it. So we're gonna watch. We're gonna listen here.
As fuck, but it was a little bit better than last time. At least we collapsed on it. We got shit down. Like it's still good improvement. We can definitely improve though. There's definitely stuff we can do better, guys.
I want to see the clip where I died at first again. See what happened.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, Esso, it's like I'm pumping everything, bro. I'm still having trouble like holding thread in me.
I know, but it's like
I apologize in advance because I realize his mic is quite a bit, I believe it's a bit louder. Yeah, it's quite a bit louder than mine. But because of the overlay for the overlay for the overlay, it's going to be like that for a second.
Anybody have the clip where I died earlier? Like the first death on Magma Dark Trash?
Maybe I need to wear more TPS gear. Maybe I need to wear more TPS gear. I don't know.
We just talked about Maiden Circle earlier. Go ahead.
And so what he's saying, actually, he's saying, I think I need to wear more TPS gear. So he's talking about threat per second. So the tank is actually making excuses for Tips pulling aggro earlier. And he's saying, maybe I need to just wear more threat per second gear to get more threat quicker. Anyway.
That's bank fucking.
Okay.
Yeah. Three or four more.
See overall, dude.
Yo, grats Tips on your first raid with us, bro. Sorry you died almost instantly.
Fuck, dude. I'm still so sad, but it's all good. You guys did great.
You have a threat issue, Mr. Tips out.
I'm logging out for tomorrow's raid, guys. Good luck.
You have a threat issue, Mr. Tips out. So earlier in the raid, Tips actually says, well, I would usually be using, and I think he says it later, I would usually be using a threat meter, but I'm not tonight. Which is actually really interesting when you're going into such a, well, you're looking at speedrunning equals max focus, right? So why not? But let's go.
Look.
I mean, yeah, no worries.
35 minutes? 35 minutes?
I got full
No,
buffs
45, 44
44, 45 around there, you know.
Isn't it all?
I like this too. So they're actually talking, really good run, by the way. And congrats, Tips, because that's a fantastic Molten Core run. But what they're talking about now is since it took 45 minutes and they had full buffs, well, Tips doesn't anymore. They're saying I'll just raid log and I'll still have full buffs tomorrow because they were within an hour of some of the buffs.
Awkward to have Tips in the raid after the T-Mugsy and Boomer debacle.
Yeah, big awkward.
Boomer did nothing wrong. He 2-0 Vin rookie.
You know what it was? It was like, I'm so used to a different pace that like all my potion cooldown like reflexes were all wrong. Like,
you go to pot and it's not up yet.
Yeah, it wasn't there, yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, my first death was bullshit though, is all I'm saying, okay? I did nothing wrong there.
That's
the
good.
rest.
After that Lucifron, healers were a little bit more low on mana than they normally are. So like, I feel like they weren't ready for the next pack.
Also
and
not true.
Head in. The dogs. So they were still drinking and they probably got cut off on the heal. He probably took 2 or 3 dogs on you.
Yeah, I feel you. Does anyone have the link? Does anyone have the clip? Subdinity.
We got sick loot there or no? What was
You would have lost your buffs 4 more times if you didn't die that first time anyway. Yeah, but the reason why you become reckless after your first death is because you don't focus as well anymore, right? It's a very big emotional and moral blow when you lose your world buffs. Like,
This is what he's saying right here is true. Like when you lose all the world buffs, because they went and got every world buff they could, the whole raid did. They've been working on it all day, and like that, it does suck. So the fact that he dies sucks, absolute balls.
especially for me personally, like I mentally check out. Like I wanted to stay focused. I was trying to stay focused for the rest of the raid, just because I wanted us to get a good time. But you get a lot more. Like I was talking to chat and stuff like that. It was clear that I just wasn't as invested. Identity, right? That's the name? Okay, so let's watch this together. Right, here we go.
And here we go. So we're going to break this down.
Muted comms in Discord real quick. I'm going to go ahead and add this window capture. All right. Let's do this. All right. Let's watch this. Here we go. This is the clip. I'm actually going to play it at 0.25 speed, just so we can see exactly what happened here. Okay, so already I'm at 75% HP.
So for a speed run, we're going to start this off. I'm going to go with him, actually. 75% HP is fine. The fact that 2 people are dead is completely fine. Going in on the speedrun to really any boss, what your healers and all your mages are doing right now is they're drinking. So they moved up to where they're in range for the pull to happen, and they're all just drinking. So it's not really a matter of like they're that low on mana, because these guys can all pop. They haven't been even popping shit, like the priests, the paladins, or I'm sorry, the shamans. He doesn't have the shaman add-on, but the priests and the shaman healers, like they're good to go. Like, let's be very clear here. Anyway,
They're 70% HP.
and the
To
him being
boot.
70, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to boot. it
So
doesn't
I've been
matter.
pumping up until this point.
And he's been doing a lot of damage. He's been doing fantastic.
Go for the charge.
All right. So we have to break this down very, very slowly. So he goes for the charge. What you're going to see happen up here is you're going to see a Crusader buff. So let's see if I can get it like real slow. As soon as he gets his first auto attack off, he's going to get a Crusader buff proc. And then we're going to break that down as well.
Nothing out of the
He says nothing out of the ordinary.
ordinary. Everybody was in range.
Everybody is in range. Boom. He hits one auto attack and it procs Crusader right up here. So if you can't see that, this is the best thumbnail I could find of it. But that's what the Crusader looks like. So nothing out of the ordinary. We can even go back a second if we need to. But enchant weapon Crusader. Permanently enchant a melee weapon so that often when attacking in melee, it heals for 75 to 126 and increases strength by 100 for 15 seconds. Okay, we got that? So, he charges in. So their tank pulls, he's pulling the first mob in the group, and he charges immediately, which is perfectly fine, actually, in general. This is a big group of corehounds. What is it, 4 or 5? I don't remember. He procs Crusader immediately. Kind of unlucky, actually, at the end of the day. Well, it's what is going to create his demise.
Crit on the auto attack.
And so what Crusader actually did, if you can already see here, and I paused it hopefully at a good spot, all the corehounds are coming for him because the tank pulled, and yes, the tank will have aggro on the first mob. 100% true. Even with a few auto attacks, maybe a couple, maybe a Sunder or Revenge or whatever. But the first mob is not what we're worried about because he charged immediately and immediately got a Crusader proc. So he charged right after the first one was pulled, and the heal happened to him. The heal creates threat. So this would be similar to any heal overtime effect going on anybody in the whole raid, actually. But I guess only the tank. I'm not sure how that works perfectly. But him already being there and within aggro range, and he charged and it healed him, this is actually what pulls all the mobs to him. And you can already see they're all coming to him. But it's because of the heal from the Crusader proc. Nothing else. It doesn't have to do later with the whirlwind he does. It doesn't have to do with anything except that right there.
Swap over. Go for the bloodthirst, and I immediately take damage right there. Immediately from the...
But you immediately took damage because you have aggro of all of these corehounds because you're Crusader procced. It doesn't mean that you need somebody to taunt. It doesn't... Without an intimidating shout... I'm sorry. What is the taunt? Without the AoE taunt, I don't know what it's called. Without the AoE taunt from any warrior right now, you're fucked, brother. Like, you're done.
The dogs. Literally just a single bloodthirst, and I wasn't like particularly ahead of anybody. The tank was right there.
And so he still thinks that it's a bloodthirst. Incorrect.
So just like unfortunate. Like right away, take the big damage. I'm already at 33% HP off the pull, basically. And then I hit a whirlwind. Oh, I actually take more damage, like literally.
I take more damage because I hit a Crusader on my first auto attack.
Okay, I hit the whirlwind, and the whirlwind just crits like crazy. Which is kind of feels...
And he's going to say, feels bad, man. It doesn't matter. Like, you're already fucked. Without an AoE taunt, you're already dead.
bad, man. The whirlwind crits, and then I'm dead. And my potions are on cooldown because they're still on cooldown from Luciferon. Which, again, I'm just not used to the pace that we killed things so fast. And you'll start to see me. I spam Berserk Rage, and I realize I'm about to die. I'll start spamming my potion. Just a second. So first, yeah, I pop Whipper, don't have them. Pop potions, don't have them. And then I just go down.
So, I mean, very good reaction time, which he shows, where he was trying to, you know, heal himself up. So, decent raid awareness. Definitely trying to use his own abilities to keep himself up. But once again, it doesn't matter because you hit a Crusader off the first auto.
There it is. So, look at the healer's mana real quick. Off the pull.
All of this is irrelevant. Everything he's about to say is irrelevant.
Yeah, off the pull, we've got pretty much every healer's low on mana. All the shaman are low. All the priests are low. I think we may have pulled that a little bit too fast. Like, I think we should have just kind of recovered a little bit there. And we had 2 people dead, too. Like, we had 2 people dead, and
Still
the priests were
doesn't
low on mana. And there was somebody rezzing. We had a healer rezzing as well. So that's probably a big part of it, too. So I think it's just being a little bit slower there. Like, just recovering a little bit after Lucifron. Oh, and if you guys missed it, you guys didn't see this live, here's my reaction of full speed with the sound, so you can see exactly how heartbroken I was. Here we go. Turn off the music for this, too. I'm going to turn up the desktop audio so you can hear exactly what I said and how I said it.
Let's go.
What happened to your guild? I'll talk about it at the end of stream.
Hold your DPS for a second. Hold your DPS for a second. Okay, you guys can start DPSing now. Rotate, warriors, rotate.
Shoot, I'm dead.
Don't
Fuck!
warriors die, priest.
Oh, no! There it is, boys. What happened to your guild? I'll talk about it at the end of stream. Feels bad.
So, I mean, if I'm honest here, this is a product of, number one, he's geared to the teeth. Like, he's absolutely crazy geared. And number two, they're going at a really, really fast pace. So there's just always something going on. I mean, they say at the end of the run that they did it in about 45 minutes, which at this gear level, even fully MC geared, is really fast. They're doing extremely well. So I think it's a product of your streaming. You're also on a big stage because speedrunning, max focus, and, you know, clear comms. So he's trying to stream and take care of chat while running this at a very fast pace, and he's geared to the teeth. And he's a Fury Warrior. And Fury Warriors don't have, to my knowledge, any ability to drop any type of aggro. Rogues have Faint. Priests have Fade. You know, rogues also have Vanish. Hunters have Feign Death, etc., etc. And he doesn't have these things. Nor does he have talents, if I'm not mistaken, that reduces threat in general as a Fury Warrior. Could be wrong there. Regardless, all these things happening, and then he just kind of goes balls to the wall. He goes way too quick. But what should be noted here is it has nothing to do with the Whirlwind. It has nothing to do with them recovering. It has nothing to do with anything other than he charged in right after the tank pulled. Crusader procced, and he pulled the whole pack to him, which, what is this now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is it 8? It's a group 8? I can't tell because it's paused in a weird spot.
To be honest, the Fury Warriors die constantly raids. It's all good.
It looks like 8. So, I mean, you have 8 mobs coming at you. So without an AoE taunt, you will just die. So at the end of the day, and let's just...
I mean, theoretically, you should, like, even, like, if you're a good Fury Warrior, ideally you shouldn't die. You should use lips whenever you can.
If you're a good Fury Warrior, you ideally shouldn't die. So if you're a good Fury Warrior, you should not do what he's doing. Understand what the enchant on your weapon does.
Protect yourself. You pull threat. You should watch your threat, to be honest.
Which
I think this was just kind of...
Which he admitted that he didn't have a threat meter on a couple times.
Unfortunate situation. I don't really think I did anything wrong here. Like, if you actually listen to what T Mugsy's saying...
You did everything wrong.
What happened to your guild? I'll talk about it at the end of stream.
Hold your DPS for a second.
It says hold your DPS for a second, so I literally don't press any button.
I like this. He says, I literally don't press any buttons. And listen, you'll actually hear, I think it's T-Mugs that talks, the tank, say, oh, now you can DPS. And he's like, I don't hit any buttons. Tell me if this is a second.
Buttons yet? Like, so hold your GPS. I don't press anything, right? I'll talk about it
Guys,
at the end
everyone
of the
just take
stream.
targets here. Hold your GPS for a second. Hold your
Don't
GPS for a
press
second.
anything yet. And I just pressed one bloodthirst.
Okay, you guys can
Now he says, okay, you guys can go.
start DPSing now.
Now he says, okay, is that a second, friends? And this is a, yeah, oh, this is a max. But that's not a second, friends, to hit Whirlwind. You're trying to get a good parse, and I get it. And I hope you make great parses.
Rotate, Warriors, rotate. pick it up.
Shoot, I'm
Warriors,
dead, I'm
pick
dead,
it
I'm
up.
dead. And that's it, I died right.
And so the funny thing is, even if the Crusader hadn't balked the entire pole, that actually probably would have killed him anyway. And so he has something to fall back on, and that's what he's going to probably say is why. But that's not why this all happened.
There. But yeah. You don't use threat meter? I mean, I typically do. I just didn't use it tonight. And tad too fast, but otherwise you're golden. Let the love it. Thank you, Dinity. I appreciate it. I am curious how my Lucifron parse was at the end of the day. I definitely think that was a 99% parse. But it is what it is, boys. All right. Who wants to hear some idiots drama? What happened with a bunch of idiots? Who wants to know what...
Anyway, just some quick fun facts about why he actually lost all of his world buffs early in the raid. It was completely his fault. I mean, nobody expects, you know, the Crusader to proc immediately, necessarily, I guess. It'll proc pretty quickly in general. But if you wait a couple more seconds and allow your tanks to actually get aggro, none of this happens anyway. You just wipe all this away. But it's not... he didn't die because of why he says, and that's the whole point of this video. Anyway, it's been fun, folks. This is the real Alt Joe, the fake Neo. As always, don't forget to walk your kids across the street.